Now we spoke about how what could be damaging to the heart, right? But when it comes to strengthening the heart and your cardiovascular system in general, where do you rate the importance of daily physical activity?
When it comes to cardiovascular fitness, I would say daily physical activities are very important.
Okay.
And so, especially cardiorespiratory, your lungs as well as your heart, blood vessels, and also in the cells there are the warehouses you get that generate energy, so called mitochondria.
Right.
So in the cells. So it's very important to have the cardiovascular fitness. And to get that, the most important thing is the moderate physical activities.
Okay. When you say moderate physical activity, doctor, what do you mean?
So moderate physical activity is any physical activity you do in moderate intensity.
Okay.
So then you does what? So there are several ways you can calculate your moderate physical intensity or moderate physical exercises. Anything you like, maybe jogging or running or swimming or cycling or anything, but make sure that you reach your heart rate 75% of your maximum heart rate.
Right.
Then you would ask me how to calculate your maximum heart rate.
Precisely.
That means 200, there are so many formulas. I think best one I would recommend is 220 minus your age.
Okay.
And then you get the maximum heart rate, and out of that you take the 75%
Okay.
of the maximum heart rate. And you can calculate among your one now.
220
Minus your age.
Okay, and then?
And take 75% of that.
So, 141.
141.
Right.
Yes. So you do your moderate physical activity to reach that heart rate.
Okay.
Any physical activity you can engage in daily, at least 5 days a week.
Right.
And 30 to 40 minutes a day for at least 5 days. If you do, you can achieve your cardiovascular fitness. This is not fat burning.
Right.
This is not fat burning. Fat burning is a totally different concept.
Right.
Even if you just walk, and it's enough
Right.
to burn fat. This is for your cardiovascular fitness.
Right.
75% of your maximum heart rate and moderate physical activity, that means. So any activity you like, can be jumping or running or even walking. To achieve that, you have to get that heart rate.
Right.
And at least 30 minutes. The 40 minutes are better. At least for 5 days. Every day the better, but at least the 5 days.
So
5 days a week.
5 days for 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes.
Of that specific formula. I
Yeah.
get to 141.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As like we discussed earlier, doctor, you said that the younger population is showing an increased risk in heart disease. Where do you think, country to country comparison, where do you think a country like Sri Lanka goes wrong with regards to that, whereas countries like China and Japan are getting it absolutely right?
Yeah, but the thing is, like country like Sri Lanka, our culture, I am not blaming the culture, but the way we look at physical activities and exercises or whatever those activities, and the way we look at food, our culture, the way our culture looks at them is different.
Right.
So, but other countries like the you name China or any Western country, I mean, like the physical activities for them is just a part of their life.
Right.
And so any physical activity, so they are very concerned about their health.
Right.
But the food they eat, they are little concerned. But in here, so our culture, the way we look at what we eat is different.
Right.
The way we look at physical activities different.
Right.
So some people think that this man is doing exercises or whatever physical activity to gain some undue advantage. Maybe
Right.
he want to look little smarter or the better.
Right.
Not for the heart health, not for the longevity,
Right.
and not for better life, not to develop, have a good, a strong mind, so and very strong spirits. So, but a lot of people think that just to build your body, get some nice biceps or triceps or look little muscular. It's not that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the overall physical fitness. So that's what you have to see. So I think mainly in kind of in our country, so we look at the physical activities, the lifestyle, the food we eat is totally different to what other people look at those in other countries.
And there's always a negative connotation, like you said. The reason he's working on it so he can get more girls, or he can get more guys, something like that. Or he's chasing after some sort of youth that he's escaped.
Yeah.
Whereas in those countries, it's taken as it's a common sense thing. You go
Yes.
shopping on Sundays, you get your workouts in on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And that's how you live a healthy life.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And I think one of the biggest excuses I've heard right now is, Mashan, to come and work out early in the morning or late at night or halfway through the day, there is always this, but I'm busy, I have this and this and this and this. Personally, how do you handle living the hectic lifestyle you live as a cardiologist and one of Sri Lanka's most renowned cardiologists? So I'm assuming that's a huge demand for you. How do you deal with being physically active on a daily basis and the very, very strenuous work life you lead?
Yeah, so actually, I personally believe you can create time. I don't know. Physically speaking, you can't create time, but
Right.
I believe I could create time.
Right.
So the only way to create time is, so you plan. So time work balance.
Right.
And if you plan things, so you could do it. So it's actually difficult with my work I do. The planning is difficult, but still, if you have how do you plan? If you have a purpose in life,
Right.
and what's the purpose you're chasing? And so automatically you get to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And always you have to have passion as well as a purpose.
Right.
So I know if I do all these things nicely, balance and plan, so I will be happy.
Right.
I would work more.
Right.
I will be more efficient, and I would look better,
Right.
and I would look younger, and people would like me a lot.
Right.
So I have a place in the society. So all these are the things I always consider.
Right.
So there is always a purpose, and I can serve more,
Mm-hmm.
and I can live long in this world, healthy way.
Right.
So that's the main purpose, if at all.
Absolutely.
So if you have those in mind, so automatically you go for those.
Yeah.
So because and when you wake up in the morning, I mean, I always believe that you have to wake up early in the morning, and I wake up at 5 a.m. So then you have enough time to plan.
Right.
So I first plan my day. Wake up in the morning, I have certain rituals, and so in the morning, as soon as I wake up, what I do is I start doing deep breathing. I then so then after that I start meditating. So then I start follow certain things like visualizations and then affirmations, and so then I read something and then start journaling, and so then manifesting. So then I do my physical activity. Once you have done within 4 to, then it takes about 5 to 7, maximum 5 to 7:38.
Right.
So I feel that I have done most of the work
Right. Okay.
for the day. So then you're with the proper mind.
Right.
You become very, very confident, very fit, very, very clear in your mind, and you feel very energetic. So then you feel like you are the Alexander the Great.
Right.
The feeling you get is fabulous.
Right.
And so then you think, I mean, you know Alexander the Great.
Yeah, of
He conquered each and every war.
Right.
And he never got defeated.
Right.
That's why he's called great. So like you get the feeling that you can handle any situation you're going to have during the day.
Right.
So you go to work, you go to all these people, you handle all this conflict, your patients, difficult surgeries, and you name anything, everything, you could conquer very easily. That's the secret. And so ultimately I have enough time also.
Right.
And so I finish work sometime early and then go and socialize. So go meet with friends and do a dinner out
Yeah.
and meet with people who are very positive minded, and you gain from there as well. So you socialize. So end of the day, so you have about 6.5 or 7 hours sleep as well.
Right.
So you can improve, you can increase your efficiency so much. And with this 5 a.m. The routine, so I call it 5 a.m. club. I think so. You must have seen that book,
Yeah,
and
Robin Sharma's book.
the 5 a.m. club
Yeah.
by Robin Sharma. I think I admire him so much. Such an inspirational guy. I believe he's my good.
Right.
And he always encouraged this.
Wake up early.
So not only him, he always say all the greatest people who live in this world, even now, even before, they do this. You name anyone, achieve the what they wanted, they do this.
Right.
So that's the pacemaker of my day.
Right.
That's the start of my day. So mainly with that, I could handle any situation, the planning.
Right.
And so time, how to kind of balance your, save your time, how to improve your efficiency, everything you can do.
Right. What I think is very interesting about what you said, Doctor, is the fact that because you start early in the morning and by 7:30 you're done with the majority of all of it. Since you start feeling accomplished first thing in the day, everything else seems like it's a task that's very, very doable. So you can just challenge yourself to do more. And there has to be some sort of dopamine release because you feel, I got up early in the morning, I did everything I have to do. So you start feeling accomplished. And the first thing in the morning when everybody else is just waking up, you've already accomplished about 70% of everything you had to do. So your mental focus and your mental resilience and how great you must feel to know that when everybody else is just starting their day, you have conquered a majority of it, must dwell down to just how successful the rest of your day is. And that I find very admirable, sir. The second thing is, you said for you to go through life and do exercise and make time, you need to have a purpose. A friend of mine who is a big movie fan and would like nothing but to watch movies is now starting to work out only because he wants his young daughter, who is 2 years old, to have a healthy father who would go through the entirety of her life with her. So with that objective, he's trying to work out as much as he can. But to everybody else at home who will say does not have a purpose as strong, what would you advise is the minimum exercise you can do and for how long to be healthy? Is it walking? Is it climbing up and down stairs so many times? What exactly is it?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is get moving.
Right.
Get moving. So I think you have to move. That's the only way one can keep or one can become very healthy.
Right.
And what I'm trying to tell you is you don't need to go for fancy physical activities.
Right.
Just walk. Just walk. Now people call 7,000 steps a day, 10,000 steps a day. Those are very good.
Right.
And if you can at least achieve 7 to 10,000 steps a day, just walking,
Right.
just leisure walk, that itself take you a long, long way when it comes to heart health. Do it every day. Do it every day. It becomes habit, part of your life. And it's like you are taking your breakfast, you are taking your the lunch or dinner. So do that as well.
Right.
So that's the most important. That's the most simplest. Anyone can do that.
Right.
So you don't need a place, space, so equipments, nothing. And you have your legs and you have the space.
Yeah.
And you go anywhere, you walk.
Right.
And so that's the most simplest way. So if you all depend on what you need. So if you want to have general overall cardiovascular fitness, that's the only way. So most simplest one. So of course there are other ways people do. Of course I do kayaking, I do jet ski, I do gymming, I do you name hiking and trailing. So you name many things. So I have so many physical activities.
Right.
So they depend on the person. So, and golf. So anything you can select in these countries. So it's very free.
Yeah, there's
so
many
depending
opportunities
on what you want.
Right.
So in addition to that, you can select any sports you like, maybe badminton, maybe tennis, maybe golf, maybe anything. So you can select and make little life, kind of enjoyable.
Yeah.
And so it gives more connectivity, as well as you get more exposed to other people, then you learn more. And at the same time, you achieve your physical fitness. Right. Other thing I have to tell you, Amanda, this is that thing called metabolic well-being.
Okay.
You have to achieve your metabolic well-being. Then you would ask me, what is metabolic well-being?
Absolutely.
So there are 5 components. And if you have that metabolic well-being, you are a lucky guy.
Okay.
So ask your friend and that daughter's father to achieve that.
Okay.
So this is what is called metabolic well-being. Even if you don't do anything, if you have achieved that, if you don't do regular exercise or whatever, walking, if you have the metabolic well-being, and that you're guaranteed that you can live longer, whatever duration you want, without having all these non-communicable diseases like hypertension, diabetes, and heart attacks.
Right.
So then what is metabolic well-being? There are 5 things you have to fulfill. So the 5 things are your blood pressure.
Right.
Yeah, make sure your blood pressure, you check it regularly, at least once a month.
Okay.
And it should be below 130/80.
Okay.
Okay? So that's number 1. And do a lipid profile.
Right.
And make sure that in the lipid profile, your triglyceride level, there are things, no?
Right.
The triglyceride, that's fat, below 150.
150, right.
150. And your HDL, that
right.
is good cholesterol.
Good cholesterol.
If you're a man, make sure that is above 40 milligram per deciliter.
Right.
If you're a woman, make sure that is above 50 milligram per deciliter. Right? That's number 3. Then sugar. The sugar, make sure your fasting blood sugar is less than 100.
Okay.
And also check your glyhemoglobin. That glyhemoglobin is a snapshot of your blood glucose level.
Right.
3 months snapshot.
Right.
And if you want to see the average. So that reflects how much sugar you have taken, used previous 3 months. Mm-hmm. So that's a very good the indicator of your sugar intake. Make sure that if it is below 5, you should celebrate. Okay. That means you are taking very minimal sugar.
Right.
At least make sure that is less than 5.7.
Okay.
If it is less than 5.7, so that means you are metabolically very healthy.
Okay.
So that is another thing. The other thing is, look at your belly. It's called waist circumference. Take a measuring tape around your umbilicus and measure your belly.
Right.
In Sri Lanka, internationally, I would say the 35 cutoff point, 35 inches for a woman, 40 inches for a man.
Okay.
And it has to be below 35 inches for a woman. It has to be below 35 inches for a man. But in Sri Lanka, it's a little lesser. So 32 inches for a woman, 35 inches for a man. Okay. That's a cutoff. Make sure they are below that.
Why is that disparity there between men and women?
Because we are small made, no? So the structure is different.
Right.
So if you have those criteria, now see the pressure, triglyceride, blood sugar, glyhemoglobin, HDL, good cholesterol, and the waist circumference.
Right.
So there are 5 things. Out of 5, if you have all normal, that means you are metabolically healthy.
Okay.
Then your chance of getting or risk of getting a heart attack is 50% less.
Okay.
It's a huge thing.
Right, yeah.
Compared to any other person who is not metabolically healthy.
Right.
So at least to say that you are metabolically healthy, out of those 5 things, at least you have to have 3.
Right, okay.
At least 3. Your good waist circumference, maybe good blood pressure, good glyhemoglobin, or less triglycerides. So these are the starting points of your kind of all these evil diseases, non-communicable diseases. So if you have those things intact or below normal, or these indicators, good indicators, that means you can have a long life without any of these diseases.
Right.
So make sure that the particular person has got these, at least 3 of these 5 things. So then he would be able to look after the daughter, whatever the age, and she would reach.
Yeah.